Hello everyone. Earlier this year I went over my top 10 favorite Batman movies, and I thought that the animated movies should get its own top 10 list. So here we go. Throughout the past couple of decades, Batman has had some wonderful films on animation. Some that are even better than the live action versions, and that's why I felt like sharing my top 10 favorite Batman animated films. I feel like these films deserve their own list. You could put them with live action, but these films are in a whole other league of their own. Now, this will include only Batman films, so I will not include the animated Justice League films. But to start off with honorable mentions, I like to mention Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think that is an underrated film, and it's kind of cool seeing these two different comic book properties cross over. Also on the list is Batman Soul of the Dragon, a very cool throwback to 70s kung fu films. The Batman vs. Dracula, of course, it's the Batman's own take on the Elseworlds story, but it's a very cool vampire film. What more can you ask for? Vampires and Batman. Son of Batman, a very underrated Damian Wayne story. Batman Assault on Arkham, Justice League Doom, Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, as well as Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. Starting the list at number 10 is Batman Year One. Batman Year One is one of my favorite stories from Frank Miller. After he made The Dark Knight Returns, he told the origin tale of Bruce Wayne as Batman, his first year. This is also a very underrated James Gordon story. I love it. He's not even Commissioner Gordon yet. You get Bryan Cranston as Gordon, you get Ben McKenzie as Bruce Wayne, and Elijah Dushku as Catwoman. There's a lot of voice work here, and this follows the comic book very closely. The animation even borrows like a style from the Frank Miller story. And because of that, I feel like it's kind of a boring film. Something about it doesn't translate as well as a story in the comic. It's weird because like it's very close. It's identical to the comic. If you read the trade back, it's identical, but for some reason the translation just feels a bit odd, even though it is an underrated Batman James Gordon story. But I love the grittiness of it, that they kept it PG-13. You get to see the corruption in Gotham. In many ways, you could tell the influence this story had on Batman Begins in live action. This is a really cool tale and a very underrated Batman film. After that, at number 9 is Batman Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. This is an awesome film from the creators of the animated series. It still has like the Fox Kids animated series style to it. Mr. Freeze was a character that was reinvented on the show with Heart of Ice and Deep Freeze. I love Mr. Freeze's story. He has a tragic story. He's a tragic figure. And we get to see Victor Freeze in hiding at the beginning of this. And he's found, and his wife's little chamber where she's being kept is damaged, and he has to save his wife. He has to find a blood donor. He's willing to do it in an illegal manner, which leaves us to Barbara Gordon, who's introduced. I love the relationship between her and Dick Grayson. It's great seeing their relationship not only like dating and their alter egos, but then fighting as Batgirl and Robin. Eventually, she gets kidnapped, which leaves Dick Grayson searching for her, and then Batman and Robin team up to save Barbara Gordon before she is killed. And it's a very good movie. You know, this came out like right after Batman and Robin. It's supposed to be the same year. Because of the critical failure of Batman and Robin and the box office flop it was, it got postponed. This is actually a much stronger film than Batman and Robin, and I'm still waiting to see a live-action Mr. Freeze that is as good as the animated series universe. While it's not as epic or grandiose as Mask of the Phantasm, it is a solid Batman film, and what more can you ask for during like the Bruce Timm kind of Tim Burton era of Batman with Shirley Walker and Danny Elfman's score? I mean, this is like the last time you really get to see the old style of animation before it transitions to the new adventures. After that, at number 8 is Batman vs. Two-Face. This is an excellent sequel to Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders. It is also the last time we have Adam West as Batman. Of course, Burt Ward returns as Robin. And we have some other actors fill in for the 60s characters. Julie Newmar returns as Catwoman. And we have the introduction of Harvey Dent / Two-Face, who was never in the original series. We get a young William Shatner. That's right, modern William Shatner voices Harvey Dent. He looks like Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek. We get to see his origin of Two-Face. It's not only cool in the way that it shows you how a 60s Two-Face would work in the Dozier verse of Batman, but it also shows you what the Adam West Batman would be like if it was a bit edgier. This is a lot more serious than its predecessor, and by the time you get to the third act, we get to see Adam West's Batman unhinged, fighting Harvey Dent. I love it because we've never gotten to see Batman that physical. We've always seen pow and bam on the screen, but we've never seen him in an actual fight, and it just feels so fitting that they would just go all out on Adam West's last time as Batman, and that he would be opposite William Shatner. Overall, this is a fun film that borrows elements from the Dozierverse while also infusing modern comic book elements into the film, and this is a great way for the bright night to go out. After that, at number 7 is Lego Batman the movie. I love this film. It's a very meta film, but a brilliant satire on the character of Batman. From the creators of the Lego movie, we get Will Forte as Batman. Who could forget Zach Galifianakis as Joker, Michael Cera as Robin? There's a lot of funny moments there that just pass over people's heads if for a kid's film, like, hello, my name is Richard Grayson, but my friends call me Dick, and then he's just like, children could be so cruel. Like, that's such a funny joke, like an adult joke. I love how they poke fun at Batman throughout the different eras. But most of all, it's an entertaining story that has a lot of heart to it. I mean, I saw this by myself on Valentine's Day, and it hit me hard with like the Batman sitting by himself in a theater room watching Jerry Maguire. You had me at hello, and this is a movie for any Batman fan out there. This is the ultimate Batman film for any fans out there, and it also shows other DC heroes and has a strong message about family and being alone and inviting others into your life. If you love Batman, you're going to love Lego Batman the movie. I mean, it can't get any better than this. After that, at number 6 is Superman Batman Public Enemies. While it did not include the Justice League films, this is actually a solid Batman-Superman team-up film. And what can I say? The closest we got to this before was like the movie version of the Batman-Superman movie from the World's Finest episodes from Superman the Animated Series. But this time, Superman is framed by President Lex Luthor. Metallo's after him. The entire DC universe, it seems, is after Superman. Batman gets in the crosshairs because he knows Superman's innocent, so they're after both of them, and it's basically like a World's Finest movie. Based on the Public Enemy story from the comics, I absolutely love this. It shows you why Batman is the Dark Knight, and not only that, it shows you the friendship he has with Superman, with Clark Kent. And I just absolutely love this movie from start to finish. The score is terrific. It's great seeing Kevin Conroy and Tim Daly reprise their roles as Batman and Superman, all the way to that fight with Lex Luthor at the end. This is a really great film. You could say it's a World's Finest. After that, at number 5 is Batman Gotham by Gaslight. This is based on the first Elseworlds story, and this movie surprised me. I absolutely love this movie. It's like in a Victorian era Gotham. It's basically Batman after Jack the Ripper. It's cool seeing what's the same and what's not. Seeing Batman with more primitive technology. It showcases the Dark Knight's detective skills because it's not just the fancy cars, the expensive gadgets. No. It's his intellect that makes him the world's greatest detective, the Dark Knight. And it's so cool seeing this alternate take on Batman. And what if he fought Jack the Ripper? After that, at number 4 is Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. This film was awesome. You know, initially I did not like Batman Beyond when it came out, and that cartoon was ahead of its time. I was also a fan of the animated series, so I was kind of reluctant seeing an older Bruce Wayne and seeing someone else take the mantle of the Bat. But you know what? This film is a perfect blend and a love letter to fans of both the original animated series and Batman Beyond, with this new Batman facing one of Batman's greatest foes. Mark Hamill returns as a Joker, and this is an excellent film filled with twists and turns at every corner. And not only is the PG version good that was on VHS, but the original uncut PG-13 version is insane and hardcore, and I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorite Batman movies. The score is great. Who could forget Crash by Mephisto Odyssey and Static X? I love how grave this threat is. This is the biggest challenge that Terry McGinnis has truly faced. And Bruce Wayne is also attacked. Seeing Timothy Drake and Barbara Gordon talk about the Joker in their older versions, seeing the younger, new adventures of the Batman characters and flashbacks and the haunting backstory of what really happened to the Joker and how he returns is just nothing short of amazing. Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker is just an awesome movie from start to finish, and it's the perfect way to cap off the WB Batman Beyond era. After that, at number 3 is Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. This was originally released in 2 parts, but I'm talking about the deluxe edition that that has both of those parts in one movie. This is one of my favorite adaptations of a graphic novel. I love Batman The Dark Knight Returns, but I think the way it's animated here and how they adapt it is done in a much more efficient way than Batman Year One. And Peter Weller is just awesome as the Dark Knight. That's right, RoboCop. Oh my God, this movie is just a great movie. Seeing Batman, he's beyond his prime. He's retired for some years. James Gordon retires at the beginning. Gotham is basically a hollow shell of itself. It's collapsing. And we get to see why he has to return as the Dark Knight. And Frank Miller brought us one of the greatest Batman stories ever made. And this is one of the greatest adaptations of that. I love this animated film. It is brutal. It is action-packed. It's emotional. I love seeing Ariel Winter as Carrie Kelly, the Bat Tank, the mutants, ultimately to the threat of the Joker and nuclear Armageddon. You know, this is very much a product of the 80s, but there's still many elements that make it a timeless tale, and I absolutely love it, all the way to that fight with Superman, wonderfully portrayed by Mark Valley. Yeah, there's a lot that the Snyder films took influence from The Dark Knight Returns, and you could see it here, and what better than an adaptation of the original story. I even love the appearance of Oliver Queen and how they incorporate a kryptonite arrow. In your darkest days, Clark, I want you to remember the one man who beat you. While the graphic novel had 2 sequels, this is a standalone animated film so far, but you can never underestimate its importance to the Batman mythos and the influence it's had in Batman media. After that, at number 2 for me is Batman Under the Red Hood. I absolutely love this. It's a little bit different as far as not having the other Robins with like Tim Drake and stuff, but it still has Neil Patrick Harris as Dick Grayson Nightwing. We get Bruce Greenwood as Batman, and I think he's an underrated Batman and probably my favorite since Kevin Conroy. We get Jensen Ackles as Jason Todd the Red Hood. He is perfect. I'm still waiting for him to play the Red Hood in live action. Titans got a lot of influence from this animated film. I love Batman seeing this Robin who he thought was dead come back as an enemy, someone who knows him better than anyone else. Besides the Joker and how the Joker ties in to both characters. Oh man, this is just an amazing film featuring an appearance by Ra's al Ghul played by Jason Isaacs. This is just an awesome movie, and who could forget the Joker in this, played by John DiMaggio. He is just a psychopath, definitely visually inspired by like the Heath Ledger Joker, but this is just an amazing movie and one of my favorites since the animated series era. Like seriously, this is like the ultimate Batman film, and it shows you his moral code and his values and why he's so different from other vigilantes and his rogues gallery. After that, at number 1 for me is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I've been in love with this film ever since I was a kid, you know, getting the VHS, having that little mini comic book in there. This is an epic film. And it was originally going to be the finale of the animated series. They gave it a theatrical release. Who remembers the trailer on Free Willy's VHS? I love the trailer. That and the Nutcrackers trailers I remember. But you get this epic orchestral score of the theme song by Shirley Walker. Mark Hamill's in this, but you also have Dan Delaney as Andrea Beaumont. Kevin Conroy is perfect as Batman. I mean, the animated series already proved that, but this is the animated series capped off to an epic gothic tragedy. And we get to see what made this incarnation of the Dark Knight. We get to see his origin and why he dresses up as Batman, why he has the car, everything. And it's also a great revenge film, how it ties into the Joker and the mob and the different elements like that. If it wasn't for Tim Burton's Batman films, we would never have had the animated series or this film. And this is still Batman at its finest. This is better than most of the live action Batman films. And before the Bell films, this is my favorite origin tale of Batman. But it's still up there as one of the greatest Batman films ever made. Not only the greatest animated film, but one of the greatest Batman films ever made, period. It doesn't get any better than this. This is the ultimate Batman movie. Those are my top 10 favorite Batman movies. Let me know down in the comments below, what are your top 10 favorite Batman movies? If you want to mention some that I didn't mention on this list, comment down below. Let's have a civil discussion and share our Bat love. In the meantime, you can subscribe for more videos and check out these other Batman-related videos for more content. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Till next time, same Bat channel.